So I just want to say it's a very moving experience to have you all here. Some people I haven't met before, but you're here because your heart connects with what we're doing, and that means a tremendous amount to us, that we unite in this. And I've had numerous emails and phone calls from around the country and in different parts of the world wishing us, sharing their gratitude for what we're doing. And also, I must say, there are those who are on the other side of the threshold where, honestly, I feel their support daily. And so in the broader context, I am filled with gratitude. And one person who flew in from Michigan is our board chair, Mitzi. And I'll pass on to her. Thanks, Mitzi.
I echo Beatrice's gratitude with having all of you here to celebrate 10 years. If you're familiar at all with the mission statement of Inner Fire, in the first sentence is the phrase, the power of choice. And most of us, I think, don't realize how precious that is until we no longer have it. My son, when he was at University of Michigan, experienced a traumatic and violent event and then began having trouble navigating his world. And in his senior year, he was then hospitalized at U of M on the behavioral health floor. My husband and I were contacted, several days after he was admitted and invited to come and have a meeting with the medical team. So while we were about to begin the meeting, Journey, my son, knocked on the door and politely asked if he could participate in the meeting. And to my surprise, was told no. Hey, Journey, go wait in your room. I'm sure your parents will come and visit you once we wrap up here. Not this time, basically. And not this time could have implied that there would be another time, but there wasn't. There wasn't another time during that stay, and there wasn't another time at any of the other numerous stays, the subsequent stays. In fact, the doctors observed his behavior, assigned him a diagnosis, and just like that, he no longer had the ability to self-govern. His autonomy was non-existent, and dare say his dignity as well. And what we thought as parents mattered little as well. In fact, we were told his brain was broken and couldn't be trusted. Unfortunately, the medication that he was put on that time wasn't ideal, and he was hospitalized again a few weeks later. And during that time, it was winter. My daughter and I went to see him, and we came in with our boots and our winter coats, kind of shaking snow off. And when he saw us, his face lit up. He's like, "Oh, is it snowing? Like, tell me, how much snow's on the ground, or how long has it been snowing? Is it dark outside?" He had to look at the clock to see if it was dark. And what we learned was he had been there 2 weeks, and nowhere in the common area or his bedroom could he glimpse outside. And he had, so yes, my daughter and I got in the car. We cried and lamented and fussed a bit on the drive home. But mostly I just wondered, how can a person get well? Locked in a building under fluorescent lights, eating subpar food, and told regularly that they can't get well. And on that same trip home, I wondered, surely there must be a place where he could go to get truly well, a place where people are treated with dignity and respect, where they're engaged in meaningful work and authentic conversations, growing healthy food and eating that as well. Most importantly, being lovingly and gently guided back to himself. So we cried, we had these conversations, and 35 minutes later I pulled in the driveway, and all that lamenting kind of had distilled down into a single prayer, which was, "Dear God, what we're doing is not working. Please let there be something else." And I'm just one mother in a world where I know there are millions of aching hearts longing for the same thing. Meanwhile, several states away from me, a woman I'd never met, never heard of, was being inspired to create just such a community. And when Beatrice said yes, and then in turn all of you said yes, countless prayers were answered, including my own. So thank you. Thank you to everyone here, the seekers who have come and gone, the current seekers today, the guides, the families, all of you who've brought your prayers and your love and your time, treasure, and talent. It's because of you that we're here celebrating 10 years, and I'm so grateful. And while it's true we wouldn't be here without all of you, we most certainly would not be here without our tireless leader, Beatrice. And when I say tireless, I mean that quite literally. I have emails from Beatrice that are time-stamped 2 a.m., 4 a.m., midnight. Like, I don't know when she rests at all, actually. But I do know this, because she told me so. When she does finally put her head on her pillow at night, it's with a heart full of joy and gratitude for the opportunity to do the work she's been called to do. It's quite remarkable. I'm continuously inspired by Beatrice's persistence, her patience, her wisdom, and her unwavering faith in the human spirit. And now, I'm going to invite Beatrice back to the microphone. We're just going to go back and forth. She's going to share a few words with us. And if you would please help me welcome our leader, Beatrice Birch.
So at Inner Fire, just to start with, we all recognize we all, men and women, have tear ducts. Okay? We let our tears flow. It's part of the healing journey. So I want to say that I want to emphasize that today we're honoring choice. We are celebrating the resilience of the human spirit, which shines forth when as an alternative to the medical model is offered, which recognizes the human being as having a body, a soul, and a spirit. Over these 10 years, I have daily witnessed striving individuals kindling their inner fire during their tapering process. It is incredibly reassuring and heartwarming when a seeker comes to me and states, Beatrice, in their tapering process, Beatrice, I'm beginning to feel myself again. And it's like, yeah, good, but stay engaged because you're not through it. It's really a British expression, it's hell warmed up coming off these meds. So for those who are new to Inner Fire, I'll just briefly share with you our mission statement so you know what this is about. Inner Fire is a proactive healing community offering striving individuals the choice to recover from debilitating and traumatic life experiences, which naturally often lead to addiction or mental soul health issues, and strengthen themselves on a deeper soul spiritual level so as to reclaim their lives without the use of the mind-altering psychotropic medications. We are not anti-medications, but we believe in the power of choice. We support people who want to avoid medication in the first place, or to taper to a level that works for them, which can mean off, depending on how many years you've been under the influence, or who have, let's say, tapered from the benzodiazepines or the antipsychotics and are still reeling from the horrific withdrawal symptoms. That's our mission statement. And now I want to say something else. And I think most of you will agree with me. And it's oftentimes when I speak, I really feel like I'm reminding people of what they already know. And what I want to say is the emperor is stark naked. Okay, let's stop pretending. I have met with many medical directors of hospitals, and they have all said to me, the system is broken. What are we going to do? I have, in our first year of Inner Fire, I got an email from somebody on the West Coast who told me, a doctor, who told me her main clientele are suicidal psychiatrists. They're stuck in the same system. They went into this wanting to help people. And then they're told, you've got 10 minutes to diagnose, and if you don't medicate, you actually don't get paid. Right? And many psychiatrists are leaving the system. The good ones, I'm not saying the good ones. The good ones who are hanging in there too and trying to make a difference. Yeah. And at the same time, from young to older, we're zombifying our population. The medications will disconnect us from what I call the soul forces, which are we think, our clarity of thinking, our heartfelt feelings, and our intentional willing. We think, we feel, we do. That's what a human being does. No other kingdom in nature does that. And but we're zombifying these people, and they are told your brain is damaged and will never recover, and you need to be on these medications the rest of your life. It's a lie. But it's so powerful that many doctors don't know what else to do. And as many people probably are aware, the suicide rate is going up of all ages, and so is the prescribing of these cocktails of psychotropic medications. I want to know what's happened to childhood. Where are the children who are playing in mud and climbing trees? And if they're frustrated in school, they're labeled as ADD, and the medication history begins. But the system does not allow any time for the art of healing. And we all know Big Pharma is ruling. And we have gradually become complacent. When will we wake up? When will we wake up? When will we act and do? And I imagine every one of us knows somebody who has either taken their life or become zombified. And I meet it. The person who comes to read the meter, I ask, do you know what we do here? No. I tell them, and they spend 15 minutes telling me what's happened in their life. It's everywhere. So Mitzi touched on it, but I want to now shift more to the to here, where I want to talk about the power of yes. It's something I talk to our seekers about also. I had no idea I was going to be doing Inner Fire years ago. But I was working at a rehab as an artistic therapist, a Hauschka artistic therapist, and the residents, they knew I wasn't from the system. And there was a period of time where a number of individuals came to me, independent of each other, but they all made the same statement and asked the same question, so that I was left thinking, is this a setup? Like, what's going on here? And the statement was, I hate being medicated. And the question was, isn't there a choice? And I had worked in Europe for 25 years in anthroposophical alternative clinics where we had never medicated anybody. So I knew there was a choice. And I shared what I could under the circumstances, and eventually these people left. And within 2 years of their staggered departures, a number of them had chosen suicide. I was horrified because I had witnessed these residents coming in. Some were not medicated. And with your artistic therapy, you're always working. Your aim is to find the creator within the individual. And it's either watercolor, clay, pastel, whatever. And I would see they would plateau. It's like, what's going on here? And then I realized, this is the medication. And so I shared what I could. Well, when I heard of their suicides, I actually thought, I'm out of this. This is far too serious. I can't handle this. And then my inner voice began to speak and say, innocence is bliss, and you're not innocent. They all came to you. They made the same statement, asked the same question. So I made a conscious choice to see their suicides as their sacrifice and their wake-up call. And my inner voice said, you have not died in vain. Okay? I have no idea how I'm going to do this, but I'll take the best of my life experience, find my colleagues, and we'll do what we can as an alternative to suicide. I mean, really. So, and there was this one moment where I was standing alone in the artistic therapy space, and I had to ask a question to the space. And my profound question was, do I have to do this? It's not that profound. But the response I got was, you are doing it. Just say yes. And I thought, well, somebody's got to do it. I don't have a clue how I'm going to do this, but I say yes. And I hope all of you say yes to whatever is coming toward you, because it belongs to us. And so, and in fact, when I did say yes, it was remarkable because it was like suddenly I was a channel. I've never had this experience before where I was filled with so much energy, and I sat down, and within a day and a bit, I had the whole program developed. And it's tweaked. Of course it's tweaked. But it was like, and then Tom and I began our search. Where is this going to be? And 3 years later, we found Gracebrook Farm. And when we moved in, within a month, I started what was called the Foundation Group, where we met once a month. And we studied, we worked together, we were sort of warming the water. Julie was part of us, and other people were part of us, this group as well. And then, in December of the same year, I contacted Bob Whitaker. It was his first time here at Inner Fire. He joined us, Sandy Steingard, the medical director of the Howard Center, and about 50 people fit into the room over there. And then about a year, 9 months later, we had our first 9-day sanctuary, and then our second 9-day sanctuary about 6 months after that. And then on September the 8th, 2015, the Inner Fire opened, and a circle of seekers and guides and parents were the founding of the Inner Fire community. Now, I want to say something about the seekers, and I think I'm going over my 10 minutes. But just to say, so since 10 years, I have been in awe of the seekers who've come here. They have the courage to try to get off these medications. We've had people who've been on medication 20 years. They are so afraid as they begin to taper to end up in the hospital again with these horrific experiences that they've had. And our theme song is Stay Engaged. But very few people really can appreciate the side effects of these psychotropic medications. Not only the side effects, Read the small print. Suicidal ideation, danger to yourself and others. What are we doing? Giving people these medications? And of course, I do want to say, for some people, they can be used and it can save a life. Okay? It can really be helpful in that moment. So I'm just saying, but we have to be more conscious as to what we're doing to our people. Yeah? And and really, as they taper and they stay engaged, they're splitting wood, they're carrying water, they're wheeling the wheelbarrow up to the garden full of compost, they're whatever, and they're learning to cook properly and so on, and we can go into the program a whole nother time. But the tapering process is empowering, and it frees them. And actually, what I realized also over the years is that the reason to taper is so that you can deal with the deeper issues in your life that you've been prevented from doing because of the results of the medication. So once you've tapered, it's almost like then the hard work begins. It's like, what are these people doing? The courage to do what they're doing. I'm in awe time and time again. And what also has become very clear to me is we're actually battling for the soul. We are battling for the soul of the human being. In a country where the more we can compare the human being to a machine, the mind is a computer, the heart is a pump, we are up against so much. This little place here. But most people know this. When I speak publicly, as I say, I'm reminding people, and people are nodding their heads and saying yes, So, and I've even gone so far as to state in a presentation that in my experience, mental health is a reductionist term for soul health. There is nothing wrong with the chemistry in our brain. Our soul informs our brain. And I'll be one happy woman if we let that term mental health go. But healing is an art. And no two people can you help in the same way. They all have their own biography. They all have their own traumas. And you work with each person individually. One thing we know is in the tapering process, you go very slowly, very carefully. And the seekers guide us. If they want to taper too quickly, then I step in, no way, like go slow and you'll manage. And I'll also mention there is a moment every time where, it's like we all have smoke screens around us, but there is always this beautiful moment, and we're faithful to it, where in one moment or another, the curtain parts and you see there she is. There he is. And then it closes. And you never forget that. That's what faithfulness is, the activity of holding on to the image that they shared of themselves. That moment, you may not be privileged to see it again, so you have to be aware of it when it happens. And I also want to say, and we have former guides here, which is very exciting. And I want to honor and say over the years, we've had extraordinary guides, and we have remarkable guides right now. Now, in the agreement form, when you become a guide, there's a sentence that says, this is not a job, it's a path. It's a path of self-knowledge and self-development. Essentially, if you're looking for a job, go elsewhere. Now, it's been tempered a little bit, but that's what it said at first, And also, because it's true, if you're looking for a job, it won't work. It won't work. It's a path. And I've also, as we as guides know that we cannot ask anything of a seeker, that we're not working on ourselves. That would be arrogance. We're all striving human beings. And we're all seekers and we're all guides. So over these years, I am so heartened and full of joy because time and again the resilience of the spirit, human spirit, shines forth. And it's why I keep doing this, actually, you know. And I want to finish by saying up here, for those of you who will stay for a tour, we have the east wing of the Inner Fire Home. We need to raise money for the heart of the home and the west wing and an arts and drama barn. But the key thing about the heart of the home, and the gesture is like this: we hope you feel welcome. We hope you feel safe. This is a place you can come to do your work, and we'll support you. Because we can't make anyone do anything. This work is humbling, you know. But in the back of the heart of the home will be a room that I've chosen to call the cocoon room. Now, Dr. John Weir Perry, back in the 70s, started a place called Diabasis House, a psychiatrist who spoke about schizophrenia. We have no idea what schizophrenia is. The brain, we have no idea. The brain is more complicated than the universe. We haven't a clue. But he had at Diabasis House a mattress room. And the mattress room is where I call it a cocoon, so that when someone in their tapering process is going through tricky times and, you know, might call for the hospital, but then when you go to the hospital, you're jacked up on your meds and it's sugar-based food and you're locked in, never outside. It's like a prison. It's worse than a prison. The inmates actually get to go out at times. And but I want to be able to say, do you want the cocoon? Stay in the community. We'll feed you. We'll walk with you. You're here. We know you can go through what you need to go through here. So that's what we're aiming for. And another big thing is, you know, I don't often stop to think as the years go by, and like suddenly it's like 10 years. And I realize, having lived with people, 60 or so people over these 10 years, I've seen a lot, I've experienced a lot, I've learned a lot, I've witnessed a lot, and we have something to share. So thinking of those suicidal psychiatrists, what we're aiming to do, and Cliff Steinberg, our colleague in the medical world side of this, is that we're going to start offering psychiatrists a retreat. A place where they can come, they can cry. We can remind them we have tear ducts. We should use them sometimes. Yeah? They can cry. They can share what they've gone through. We can learn from each other. This is what we do at Inner Fire. And what do you do there? And what do you do? So that more of us can offer choices. Because not everyone can come to Inner Fire, of course, you know. And so we're working toward that. And, so to create a safe place for them. And what I would like to do, I'll stop because, of course, I can go on and on and on. Many a story. But I'd like to finish with a quote of Goethe's, which has to do with the power of yes. Until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. Concerning all acts of initiative and creation, there is one elementary truth, the ignorance of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans. That the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help one that would never otherwise have occurred. A whole stream of events issue from the decision, raising in one's favor all manner of unforeseen incidents and material assistance, which no man could have dreamed would have come his way. Whatever you can do, or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now. And I have proof of that.